that feeling when you can train for months and still can't perform in real games?
Harden working against Sadiq. Front. Ball gets away.
What is
And
James
Sadiq will
Harden
take it
doing?
away from Harden and drive and dunk.
James Harden knew it was going to be an open back violation.
Well, that's not on you. You did everything right. 2 years of training, hundreds of hours drilling every move you saw online, and the moment you stepped into a real game, none of it worked. You kept thinking you weren't working hard enough. You kept going back, watching more videos, buying more programs, but that was never the real problem. The real problem was who you had been learning from. And here's what you need to hear before you waste another minute. So let's start with a simple question. Who are these people that are teaching you? Think about the last basketball training you followed online. What do you actually know about them? You know they have a lot of followers. You know their videos get millions of views. You know that they can dribble fast and do flashy moves in an empty gym. But here's the thing nobody asks. Have they ever played in a competitive game at a high level? Have they ever been coached by someone who actually made it? Or did they just pick up a camera one day, learn a few moves from other YouTube videos, and started calling themselves a basketball coach? Because that's exactly what most of them did. And you've been trusting your game to that. Now, think about what they actually teach you. They teach you moves, lots of moves, crossovers, hesitations, spin moves, step backs. They make it look smooth. They make it look like if you just add this one move to your game, everything changes. So you go to the gym, you practice that move for hours, you get it down in an empty court, and you feel good. You feel like you're improving. Then you get into a real game, and out of nowhere, none of it works. The defender closes out faster than you expected. There's no space due to your hesitation. Your teammate is cutting and you're not reading it. The game is moving and you're standing there trying to remember a drill you just watched on your phone at 11 p.m. at night, bro. That's the moment that hits you. You weren't training for basketball. You were training for a camera. Here's what real basketball actually demands from you. It demands that you read the game. It demands that you know where your teammates are before you even catch the ball. It demands that you understand spacing, that you know when to cut, when to set a screen, when to get out of the way. None of that comes from watching a guy do a chair jump drill in his driveway, bro. Like, are we serious right now? The best players in the world don't get good by collecting moves. They get good by understanding the game at a deeper level. The beauty of basketball IQ. They know what to do before the ball even gets to them. They've seen every situation so many times that the right decision happens automatically, almost naturally at this point. That kind of skill doesn't come from a 60-second IG reel, bro. That comes from real coaching, real game experience, and real repetition inside an actual game environment. And people selling you programs online? Are we serious? Most of them have never been in that environment, not even close. And this actually connects to something I broke down on this channel already. Scoring numbers in the NBA have been going through the roof for years, and most people think it's because the players got better, but once you see what actually changed behind the scenes, you'll never look at a box score the same way again. That video is right up here. Make sure to catch that link. So why do you keep following them? Why do you keep watching them? Because they're really good at one thing, and that one thing has nothing to do with basketball. They're good at making you feel like you're one drill away from being great. They understand that you want to improve. They understand that you're willing to put in the work, and they package that in a desire in a way that looks legitimate. The production quality is high. The moves look clean. The caption says things like elite level training and what pros actually do. And because you want it to be true, part of you believes it. And that's not a weakness, that's just being a human being. Every single person watching this has fallen for it at some point. The difference is what you do with that information now. Here's another question worth sitting with. When was the last time one of these online trainers talked about team play? When did they show you how to move without the ball? When did they break down film of a real game and explain why a player made a specific decision at a specific moment? Some of them do and some of them don't. And they never will, because that content doesn't get views. Flashy dribble content combos get views. Trick shots get views. A guy jumping over a chair gets views. Teaching you how to read a pick and roll defense does not get views. So they never teach it, and your game suffers too without you even realizing why. Guys, even if you're not watching film, the best way to master one specific skill is to practice it daily. So if you want to be a better shooter, go shoot 1,000 shots a day. If you want to be a better ball handler, go work on ball handling drills that work on your hand-eye coordination. If you want to be a better passer, go get a partner and work on different passes with each hand. And look, this is exactly why America's basketball system keeps producing the same type of players over and over and over again. Ball hogs, highlight chasers, guys who never learn how to play with a team. I did a whole video on how that system got built and why it keeps running. Link is right up here. Now, here's the part that's gonna sting a little. The time you've already spent, you can't get that back. The months of practicing moves that didn't transfer to real games, the programs you paid for that didn't move the needle, the hours you spent watching the content that was designed to entertain you and not develop you. That's done, but here's what you can control starting right now. You can be more intentional about who you learn from. Ask yourself, before you follow anyone, have they played at a level you respect? Do they teach the game or do they teach moves? Do they talk about team concepts, decision making, game intelligence, or is everything that they post filmed in an empty gym with no defender, no pressure, and no real game situations? Those questions alone will cut your list down by 90%. And when you find the right people to learn from, the shift is immediate. You stop collecting moves and start developing instincts. You stop trying to recreate what you saw online and start reacting to what's actually in front of you. Your game slows down mentally, even as it speeds up physically. You start making reads you never made before. You start showing up in real games instead of disappearing in them. That's what real development feels like. And it's completely different from what most people online are selling you. So here's what you can do right now. Go through everyone you follow who talks about basketball training. For each one, ask one simple question. Has the person ever been accountable to a real game at a real level? Not a pickup game, not a one-on-one with a friend, a competitive environment where their skills were actually tested. If the answer is no, or if you generally don't know, that tells you everything you need to know about how much weight to give to their advice. Find coaches and players who have been in those environments. Find people who talk about the game itself and not just individual skill moves. Find content that makes you think about basketball differently and not just content that makes you want to go do a drill. You did everything you were supposed to do. You put in the hours, you showed up in the gym, you wanted it badly enough to spend your own time and money trying to get better. That drive is real and it matters. The only thing that was working against you was the source. Now you know, and that changes everything. So guys, I mentioned earlier that in order to master one specific skill, you gotta be willing to do it daily. But there's one specific skill that I feel like is the most important in basketball. If you wanna find out what that skill is, make sure to click this video right here.